Hi, I'm Mark Camoccio from Mart TV, and I'm here today to show you one of the many Sports Match products. If you're not aware, Sports Match are a British manufacturer of scope mounts. They do a whole range for air gun, but obviously they're also for firearms as well. This is one of their Dampa mounts. They're given code numbers. It's DM60 and DM70. DM60 is for a 1-inch tube mount, and DM70 is for the 30mm version. They're around about sort of 50 to 60 pounds, depending on, I think with 30mm slightly more. The key point with these, it's a one-piece mount, so if you're looking at my interest of air guns, the whole point of a one-piece is that you're getting a lot more pressure along the scope rail, so it will eliminate scope creep. So obviously in the first point we've done that with this one-piece mount, but what makes this clever with the Dampa is that, as you can just see a seam there, there's actually a separate part to the base, and what they actually do is link the rings onto that, or the whole top section onto that lower section via rubber bushes, and by putting those in you've created a cushion. And it may sound sort of suspect, but when you see the product, it's so solid, but it's allowing for that recoil to be absorbed up to a point. And with spring powered air guns, obviously there's a two-way kick and recoil, but they sort of devised these on the air gun side to cater for primarily gas ram. It was the original sort of Theobins with their gas ram pistons, and there was quite a marked kick on some of the gas rams, and it was thought that it could shake the scope and deliver much more recoil and of course damage the glass. So this sort of very clever system does compensate for that and sort of soak up the recoil. So you've got two rings at each end, obviously all part of the main casting, but as I say, it's that rubber bush in between that's sort of sandwiched that absorbs the recoil, or a fair old degree of it. So if you've got any sort of major problems with recoil and very high kick on your air gun, these Sports Match Dampa mounts really do help. There's one more feature that's worth mentioning, and that applies to any Sports Match, as I understand it, any Sports Match product. And it's a feature that if you have trouble fitting it to your particular rifle, it's worth remembering, and that's that so I've had this one for some while now, so it's got a bit marked there, but you can actually reverse that lower side of the mount, and of course that then alters the profile, and it will either be tighter or more slack on your rail. And if you're unsure whether it's going to fit properly, then you can, that's always a good way of dealing with it. So that's the Sports Match Dampa mount.